In the spring of 1942, the King George V graving dock, a former dry dock, was used for training by commandos who were to take part in the raid on the French port of Saint-Nazaire, where their dock was very similar in design and construction. The men practiced climbing inside the hollow gate or caisson to set explosives and setting charges against the winding gear. In the raid itself, the obsolete destroyer HMS Campbelltown was rammed into the Normandy dock gate and exploded whilst the commandos destroyed the dock machinery. Saint-Nazaire was targeted because the loss would force German capital ships in need of repair, such as Tirpitz and her sister ship Bismarck, to run the Royal Navy gauntlet via the English Channel or the North Sea. 105 members of the Royal Navy and 64 commandos lost their lives in the raid. The British decided to rely on the United States unreservedly and without regard to their ability to pay for war material. By December 1940, they had already placed orders that were far more than they could possibly muster the dollars exchanged to finance. So Churchill suggested the concept of Lend-Lease, and in early 1941, the Lend-Lease Act not only empowered the President to transfer defence materials, services and information to any foreign government whose defence he deemed vital to that of the United States, but also left to his discretion what he should ask in return. During this period, we can see the Liberty ship unloading M4 Sherman tanks along the quayside with Millbrook in the distance. By 1944, the dock was again dry and engaged in the building of bombardon breakwaters, which were used as temporary floating breakwaters to protect the Mulberry harbours during the Allied invasion of Normandy. As part of the Mulberry Harbour project, a number of bombardon units were assembled and tested in Weymouth Bay during 1943-44, and some remained in Portland Harbour prior to being towed to France. The bombardons were 61 metres long, cuneiform steel floats and constructed in the King George V graving dock. In the wake of the invasion, over 400 component parts of the two harbours, including 146 caissons, were towed across to Normandy, creating two operational harbours within 2 weeks. Mulberry A was established off Omaha and Mulberry B off Gold Beach. Although Mulberry A had to be abandoned, Mulberry B remained in use for 10 months, landing 2.5 million men, 500,000 vehicles and 4 million tons of supplies.